So we get a lot of questions on how can you install your HC95 compensator on your Glock. With the fins, it makes it a little more difficult. So we're gonna go over how to install today. If you need to use this as a guide for another compensator with fins, like the HC43 or the HCDG compensator from Herrington Arms, you can use this guide, but we'll be making videos later more specific to that build. Biggest thing when installing a compensator is you need to make sure everything is degreased and clean. So if you can get some Dawn dish soap or degreaser on your barrel threads, your set screws, and your compensator, it's gonna allow that Loctite to dry properly. If you don't do it, you could have issues where the Loctite doesn't set and your compensator can loosen over a couple thousand rounds. So let's go ahead and start. We actually sell Loctite on the website. If not, you can go pretty much any hardware store to get it. It's really easy to find. This is blue 243 mild Loctite. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on the barrel threads. With this stuff, you're gonna wanna make sure you get it all the way around the barrel. That way it's fully coated. You don't want this loosening up, and even with this amount of Loctite, you're gonna have no problems breaking this loose. It's gonna be really easy for you to get it off. We actually just did a video on removing a compensator, if you guys wanna go check that out. So you just thread this on. What I do is I just thread it on until it stops. Like that, and you can see we're not going into battery. There's a gap here. So then you just wanna keep backing it off a turn and try. You can see we're still not in battery. Back off one more turn, and we clicked in. We have some wiggle room. You're gonna wanna look and make sure there's a gap between the fins and the bottom. You can see there should be a gap between your slide and the comp there. You can also test this with a piece of paper or a dollar bill or something. If you have to, you can always back it off another turn to play it really safe, but for this instance, we don't need to do that. We have plenty of room. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and install the guide rod since we have the compensator on. This is gonna stop your barrel from wanting to fall out. It's just gonna make it easier to install. Next up, we're gonna grab our set screws and just do this one at a time. Put a little bit of Loctite on them. Make sure it goes all the way around the threads and then into the compensator. What I typically do is I just put this in and don't have it touch the barrel yet. Don't go all the way in, and then I'll switch to the other side. This won't like move your compensator. It won't rotate your compensator out of position right away. You're not gonna have any issues. It'll make it much easier. If you tighten that one side down, it's gonna kick the compensator because you're tightening it on a tangent point. So that one's got full Loctite on it. We'll go ahead and put it in a little bit. We're not gonna have it touch. Just kind of dab this stuff up so we're not making a mess. And then what I do is I pinch the base of the compensator here. You can see we can still move. I pinch the base, and that's gonna allow me to feel exactly where the compensator needs to be, because you see we have a little bit of rotation movement. So pinch right here, get this nice and aligned. You'll feel it. It'll feel nice. And then you can also look down the compensator and make sure that it is flat and not angular, not tilted angularly. And what I do is I'll just pinch right here and start tightening. I'll just go until it hits on one side. So it stopped. I didn't put any pressure on it. And then go to the other side, do the same thing. It stopped. And then I'll go back and I'll just tighten a little bit on each side. You don't want this compensator to rotate. So I rotated a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen. Get it back to square. And then start tightening again. This may take a couple tries to get it right, but it's better to do it right the first time than have it rotated and your fins smacking off your slide. That's not gonna be good for the compensator, and it may cause malfunctions. So you're gonna wanna make sure you do it right the first time. Okay, so we're still feeling really good here. If you wanna check halfway and make sure the compensator is nice and square, you can. And then if you have a torque wrench, it's 14 to 16 inch-pounds, but you can just use the supplied Allen key. You don't have to over tighten it since we have Loctite on here. And then you're gonna wanna feel and make sure that everything is aligned. Everything looks really good to me, feels really good. Then you can just throw your slide back on your frame and good to go. And that's how you install a compensator. It's incredibly easy. With The HC9C or any of the other models that don't have fins, it's even easier. You just thread it on until it stops, good to go. But with these, you have to time them a little bit. You just have to make sure that there's an air gap between the compensator and the slide, and you'll be good to go. If this video helped you, we'd appreciate a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.